We're going to start with Class 1A. We're going to get into the Class 1A rankings, and all of our rankings presented by ScoreStream. ScoreStream has been a big partner with us since 2014, and this year they are really going to be doing some big things at ScoreStream. They just announced their partnership with the Associated Press, 43 states involved with that. They're also involved with iHeartMedia. iHeartMedia is actually going to be using the content scores from around the country, and especially on all their radio stations around the country and here in Florida. So if you hear the scores, ScoreStream, and hey, we're proud to be a very big partner with ScoreStream. So again, here we go. Class 1A rankings, getting ready to start with that because that is the big thing here. And we're going to start with 3 on the bubble. Our 3 on the bubble: Hamilton County, Williston, and Frostproof. Those are the 3 on the bubble for Class 1A. Basically, I expect all 3 of these teams to be playoff bound at the end of the season. Basically, Hamilton County and Frostproof, they were both playoff last year. Williston was very close. They were in a very tough District 7 in Class 1A, but with the districts eliminated, I do not see an issue for Williston actually making the playoffs this year. I mean, if Williston doesn't make the playoffs, I'd be pretty disappointed, and I think Justin Wentworth would be pretty disappointed as well.
And he's building there. I mean, he'll be his 3rd year at Williston. And keep in mind, in 2014, this was a team whose coach was fired 2 games into the season. They had to make some changes. Brought in Justin Wentworth from Trinity Catholic. They went 5-4 last year, as you mentioned. Just missed out on the playoffs in that 1A District 7 because, well, you had Trenton, Newberry, Dixie County there. It was almost going to be impossible for him to get out of that. And you're right now with the new regional format. It's probably a good thing to see Williston. You probably will see Williston in the postseason, but yeah, that's a team that's kind of been on the rise. Justin Wentworth has been building, and Hamilton County is always pretty solid. As you mentioned, the playoffs last year. Frostproof was a surprise last year, kind of made it into the playoffs, very surprising, and went out early. But yeah, you're right. Those 2 were in the postseason last year. But Williston, interesting. They have East Side to start, and they're at 7 Rivers, Madison County, at Newberry and Fort White. Yeah, that's a tough opener for Williston, and then they're at Bellevue. So they do have a tough slate of games at Union County, Dixie County, and Chiefland.
But a lot of those games can be winnable for them if they just play.
A lot of those are 1A teams too.
Right, so. I think so. That's that's going to be the thing. But I don't think anybody's going to be surprised when they see the top 5 here in a moment.
Yeah.
And here we go: Port St. Joe at 5, Bluntstown at 4, Pahokee 3, Baker 2, Madison County 1. Madison County, why are they number 1 here? Let's go with right into that.
They're Madison County.
They're Madison County. Yes. The Cowboys, Mike Coe does a phenomenal job there at Madison County. And the big thing with Madison County at number 1 here is pretty much this. You look at their schedule every week as a playoff team from the past 2 seasons. Madison County, but this is traditional Madison County football.
Yeah, they can beat those teams.
They're not afraid to play anybody higher than their classification.
Right.
That has never been the case. And I know Coach Coe expressed reservation about the new playoff system, about being able to find somebody. Again, I think maybe one team maybe is a 1A team.
Williston.
Williston.
I'm sorry, they play Newberry.
Newberry's a 3A. Newberry's 3A now.
I'm sorry, Newberry's 3A. My apologies. So Williston is the only one on there.
That's pretty much right there. And, the thing.
At Wakulla, at Newberry, Florida State High.
Right.
Columbia comes to them, at Denellen, at Pensacola Catholic. University Christian comes to them. Swanee comes to them. They close at Rickard. So, yeah, they have one 1A school on that slate, and that's Williston. And boy, if they might be 5-5 and be number 1 because of that schedule. I mean,
they have 30 bonus points, by the way, folks. This is not a drill. It's 30 bonus points. Baker, I think they're feeling pretty confident over there. Baker, Pahokee.
Our question is Pahokee, right? How do they recover from what happened last year?
12-2, but they ended up having to forfeit all those games. Some people are, I know I'm probably going to hear about it later on about with Pahokee being number 3, but people are going to be like, I think it's a good position for them to recover if they really want to be the number 1 team again. That's going to be interesting. But Pahokee and Madison County, they'll probably meet up in the regional in the state semifinal actually.
And I don't know. Let's be honest about this last year. I mean, that was Pahokee beat Newberry, Trenton, and Madison County in the playoffs. But they all went to Pahokee. Pahokee didn't have to leave Pahokee.
Well, let's look at it this way. Newberry's in 3A, Trenton's in 4A. Trenton's in 4A because of
because of something that happened in the offseason with Twitter and a little bit incident with the Williston player. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. But those teams are gone. And Madison County, Pahokee beat them 21-19. But, I mean, I don't know if you can really be upset about this ranking. Pahokee's ranked 3rd because Pahokee didn't have to leave their stadium last year. They played all their games at home. They went to Orlando and played Baker, and they beat them. She mentioned Baker coming out of the Panhandle, expected to have another big season. But again, there was no 1A state champion last year. That was vacated because of Pahokie's.
Well, Baker says Baker went to the 14-0. They say undefeated season. We'll let them live with that for right now.
Sure. I mean, not officially, but that's fine. They can go with that.
Well, they officially 14-0, 13-1 on the field. That's the case. But hey, again, okay, Port St. Joe 5, Bluntstown 4, Pahokee 3, Baker 2, Madison County 1. That is your Class 1A preseason rankings right there.
A lot of teams from the Panhandle there. The Bluntstown, Port St. Joe's are always good. Port St. Joe's always a good program.